Hey Vikings Nation, buckle up, because today's update dives straight into the future of this team, and it's a move that could quietly shape the next era in Minnesota. We're talking about money, strategy, and a decision that's already being built behind the scenes. And trust me, this one is already dividing the fan base in a big way. Because while everyone's watching free agency and trades, the Minnesota Vikings are playing a different game, planning ahead, locking in talent, and preparing to pay one of their most debated young stars. And yes, that name is Jordan Addison. So the big question is, are the Vikings making a smart long-term move or setting themselves up for a risky financial gamble? Let's break it all down together, Vikings Nation. The front office has made one thing crystal clear. This team wants to draft, develop, and retain its core. That philosophy isn't just talk. It's already showing up in how they're planning their salary cap for the future. According to internal planning, the Vikings have already accounted for a potential extension for Jordan Addison. That means this isn't just speculation. This is something they are actively preparing for behind the scenes. And that tells us something important. The organization still believes in Addison as a key piece of this offense moving forward, even with everything that's happened. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. The Vikings are not just building for 2025, they're thinking long-term, especially toward 2026 and beyond. The front office has hinted that the roster is barely out of the gate, meaning we haven't even seen the full plan yet. Free agency is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. And that puzzle includes locking in young talent before their price skyrockets. Which brings us right back to Addison. Now here's where things get interesting, and a little controversial. The fan base is completely split on this move. On one side, you've got fans who see Addison as a dynamic playmaker, a perfect complement to Justin Jefferson, and someone worth investing in early. But on the other side, there are real concerns. Off-the-field issues, inconsistency, and that noticeable dip in production last season have people asking, is this the right time? And let's be real, Vikings Nation. That debate isn't going away anytime soon. Let's talk numbers, because this is where things get serious. Wide receiver contracts in today's NFL are exploding. We're seeing elite guys like Ja'Marr Chase pushing over $40 million per year, completely resetting the market. Even the 10th highest paid receivers are making massive money, which means any extension for Addison is going to come with a hefty price tag, no matter what. But here's the key point. Addison is not in that top-tier category right now. He's been good, very good at times, but not dominant enough to justify top 10 wide receiver money. That's why most projections place him somewhere in that 15 to 20 range among receivers in terms of value. And honestly, Vikings Nation, that feels about right based on what we've seen so far. Now let's look at his production, because this tells a deeper story. Over 3 seasons, Addison has put up 175 receptions, 2,396 yards, and 22 touchdowns. Those are solid numbers, no doubt about it. His first 2 seasons showed real promise, real explosiveness, and the ability to be a difference maker. But then came 2025, and things changed. His production dropped significantly, and there were multiple reasons behind that. First, he missed time due to a 3-game suspension. That alone disrupted his rhythm and availability. Second, the quarterback situation was rough. Let's not sugarcoat it, the passing game struggled overall. And third, Addison himself didn't perform at the same level. Whether it was consistency, focus, or chemistry, something was off. So now the question becomes, how do you evaluate him fairly? And here's where the timing gets really interesting. From Addison's perspective, this might not be the ideal time to sign an extension. His value is slightly down, and he might want to bet on himself, have a big season, and cash in later. But from the Vikings' perspective, this might be the perfect time to strike. Because if he bounces back, his price goes up. A lot. Now let's compare him to other recent deals, because this gives us a clearer picture. T. Higgins signed a deal worth nearly $29 million per year. Jameson Williams is around $26.6 million annually. Most people would agree Addison isn't on Higgins' level, but he's definitely in the same conversation, if not ahead of Williams. So where does that leave him? Right in that middle ground. And that's where things get very interesting for negotiations. There's also a really compelling comparison that keeps coming up, Devonta Smith. Similar size, similar role, similar production profile. And Smith signed a 3-year, $75 million deal a couple of years ago. But here's the twist. The salary cap has increased significantly since then. So if you adjust for that inflation, Addison's number should logically be higher. And that's exactly what projections are starting to show. Now let's talk about what a realistic deal could actually look like. One projection that's gaining traction is a 3-year extension worth around $82.5 million. Out of that, about $34 million would be fully guaranteed, giving Addison security while protecting the team somewhat. That's not cheap, but it's also not top-tier money. It's a calculated investment. But even with that structure, there are still risks on both sides. For the Vikings, you're committing to a player who hasn't fully proven consistency yet. For Addison, you're potentially locking in a deal before maximizing your peak value. So this isn't a simple decision, it's a strategic gamble. And timing will be everything here. Do they extend him before the season, after a breakout year, or do they wait even longer? Each option comes with different risks and rewards. And that's what makes this situation so fascinating. Because this isn't just about Addison, it's about the entire direction of the franchise. Paying 2 wide receivers big money, especially with Justin Jefferson already earning elite-level salary, is not easy to manage. It puts pressure on the rest of the roster. And it forces the front office to be incredibly precise with every other move. So Vikings Nation, let me ask you this. Would you pay Addison now and take advantage of the lower value? Or would you wait, risk it, and see if he proves he's worth even more? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear where you stand on this, because this debate is just getting started. At the end of the day, this move fits the Vikings' identity. Build through the draft, keep your core, and stay competitive long-term. But whether it's the right move, that's something only time will tell. And you better believe we'll be watching every step of the way. So if you're all about Minnesota Vikings news, analysis, and real fan conversations, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with every Vikings fan you know. Because things are heating up in Minnesota, and you don't want to miss what comes next. SKOL.